Hello, this book is called Space Case by Stuart Gibbs. Now I'm going to tell you about this book. Someone had killed Dr. Holt, said Jessica, the person who lives on the moon, with several other people. But no one would believe him, except this new girl named Kayla, who he was supposed to supervise. Nina had given him the job to get his mind off Dr. Holt's death, but they secretly try to find the killer. While he does, he meets this new other girl in his room who wanted to know what had happened to Dr. Holt. He and Kayla get so close, but will have to put a little dent in the rules. In the camera, Dr. Holt uses sign language saying to retrieve his phone. But one thing sounds odd. So they retrieve his phone like he says in the sign language, but they might get murdered while trying. I think you should read this book because there are a lot of cliffhangers, and it makes you never want to set it down. It's also a good science fiction book. I hope you like it.
Hey, I read this book called Sisters by the author Raina Telgemeier. This book is about a girl named Raina that wants a baby sister, but when she does get her sister named Amara, she instantly regrets it. Raina tries her best to get along with her, but she can't. Amara is cranky and prefers to play on her own, and they fight with each other a lot. But when a baby brother will come into the picture and their parents aren't getting along, they realize they need to go along. They are on their way to go to their cousins, and it's a long ride, and they need to get along for their parents. Also, you should read this book because it's a great story about two sisters that need to get along. Are you wondering how they get along in the long road trip in the car? Well, you have to read it to find out.
Smile by Raina Telgemeier. This book is about a girl wanting to be a normal sister, but one night after Girl Scout she trips and falls, severely injuring her two front teeth. What follows is a long frustrating journey with on-again, off-again, braces, surgery, embarrassing headgear, and a retainer with fake teeth attached. And on top of all that, there's still more to deal with. Boy confusion, a major earthquake, and friends who turn out to be not so friendly. Raina's story takes us from middle school to high school, where she finally discovers her artistic voice, finds out what true friendship really means, and where she can finally smile. One reason you should read this book is because it is very interesting, making you want to read it all over again, and it's really learning.
Hi, my book is Diary of a Wimpy Kid, The Ugly Truth by Jeff Kinney. In the pages of this book, 7th grader Greg Heffley has to deal with a lot. One of these things is a friendship breakup with his used-to-be friend, Rowley, as well. There's also an ice cream contest for little kids and his little brother Manny. And of course, your favorite character, Roderick, torturing Greg throughout the entire book. Hope you enjoyed. It's a really good book. If you were wondering what the reasons for reading this book, here they are. It is worth 3 AR points, and it also has a great intriguing pull to it, just like a mystery novel. It also has a lot of meaning of new things popping up to keep it going.
This book is called The Twits, written by Roald Dahl, illustrated by Quentin Blake. The Twits is about two horrible human beings, Mr. and Mrs. Twit. Mr. Twit is one of those hairy-faced men with food in his hair. Mrs. Twit, of course, does not have facial hair, but that would be a very good thing because she's hideous. Once Mrs. Twit put her glass eye in Mr. Twit's drink, he got very mad and paid her back. This goes on and on. Mr. Twit also has monkeys that he hopes to be in an upside-down circus. He makes them stand upside down for hours, sometimes days. But one mainly bad thing about them is that every Wednesday, Mr. and Mrs. Twit have bird pie for supper. That Tuesday, Mr. Twit puts super glue on his tree. The birds sit on it thinking that there's nothing there. The monkeys do not like this. Will they find a way to pay them back? You should read this book because you need to find out what happens to the monkeys and the birds. What will they do to pay the Twits?
This book is Hate That Cat. The author is Sharon Creech. This book is about a kid named Jack. Jack had a daughter named Guy. He passed away. He says that his uncle said some mean things about his dog. He hates cats. When he was getting ready for school, he walked out. He said, "Hey, I'm early." He saw something in the tree. It was a cat, a black fat cat. He went to climb the tree. He got up the tree. He says, "Come on." The cat jumped on his head, and the cat started to scratch his face. The cat jumped off his head and ran off. Why someone else should read this book? You should read this book because I like it and I think you would like it too. The book is written in poems. Not much books are written like that.
Today I am going to explain why you should read this book, Diary of a Wimpy Kid. This book is about Greg Heffley, and he's on summer vacation, and he just wants to stay inside, play games, and do nothing. Unfortunately, his mom has the complete opposite idea for his summer. She wants to get out and play and swim all summer long. His mom wants to get out with the family and hang out in the sunshine. Greg is trying to find a way to get back to his introvert self before his mother went to the battle. Why someone else should read this book? One reason you should read this book is because it is full of hilarity and excitement. Greg goes through a lot of boredom and trouble. How can Greg look back on this as the best summer ever? Read Diary of a Wimpy Kid Dog Days today.
Navies of World War II by Mike Taylor. Normally, when people think of World War II, they think of tons of soldiers in trenches, ducking for cover 1 second, then the next they're peeking their heads up to take another shot. But the navies were a big part of the war too, especially for the U.S. when the Japs bombed Pearl Harbor. Now, why somebody else should read this book is because it will teach them about the navies of World War II and how they helped to win the battles of the war.
The book I'm reading is called Attack on Titan, and the author is Hajime Izuyama. In this book, there was a boy named Aaron. Aaron can transform into a Titan, but he helps people. The humans made 3 giant walls so a Titan can't get inside and eat people. Well, some of the plans didn't work out as planned. Because Titan made a big hole in the wall, but then the regular Titans ate people. So Aaron wants to go out the wall, but his mom won't let him. So the only choice is to store the Titan before they take. So the only choice is to store the Titan before they take over the land. One reason to read this book is because there's a lot of action, so the reader can be entertained. Also, when people read this book, they cannot put.
The name of this book is Amulet Book 1. The author is Kazu Kibushi. This book is about a girl and her brother who finds a hidden amulet. Then their mother gets taken away by a monster and they go after her. Then they later find out that they're in a alternate version of Earth. The monster stings her mom with a poison while she tries to save her. Then soon after, they lose the monster and their mom in the woods. And this is why I think you should read this book. This book is filled with adventure. The girl Emily and her brother Navin go to an alternate version of Earth called Orlandria to save their mother. Will they save her in time? You have to read to find out. Also, I almost forgot. Emily finds a
This book is called Popeye and Elvis by Barbara O'Connor. It is about a guy named Popeye and he goes for a walk. On his walk he saw a houseboat called the Holiday Rambler. He went to go check it out. He noticed that it was stuck in the mud. Then someone yelled at him. It was Elvis and his siblings. Popeye and Elvis started to hang out because of Popeye's dog. Popeye and Elvis went to Popeye's house, got bored and went to the river, and found Yoo-Hoo Boat. You should read this book if you love adventures.
This is Diary of a Wimpy Kid Double Down by Jeff Kinney. In this book, there's a kid named Greg Heffley, and the pressure is really piling up on Greg. His mom thinks that video games are turning him into mush, so she wants him to put down the controller and explore his creative side. And as if that is not scary enough, Halloween is just around the corner, and the frights are coming at Greg from every angle. When he discovers a bag of gummy worms, it sparks an idea. Can Greg get his mom to get off his back by making a movie? And will he become rich and famous in progress, or will doubling down on his plan just double Greg's troubles? why someone else should read this book. Because it will make you laugh and because it will make you want to read this book. One reason you should read this book is because you need to find out what happens to Greg when he's done finishing.
My book title is How to Steal a Dog by Barbara O'Connor. This book is about a little girl named Georgina. She lived with her brother Toby and her mom, and she lost her apartment. And so they have to live in their car, and their mom has to get 2 jobs just so they can afford a new apartment. But how could one little girl get an apartment again? You should really read this great book about how one girl can make a difference in her
My
life.
book is Wonder by O.J. Palacio. In this book, a kid named August is starting 5th grade at a new school, but August isn't a normal kid. He has a face disorder. He goes on a tour at Beecher Prep and meets Jackal, Julian, and Charlotte. He starts off the year and everybody is shying away from him. People even make the August flag. You should read this book because it is a good book and you will not want to put it down. Another reason you should read this book is because it will teach you not to be mean to people with disabilities. Will everybody change? Read the book to find out.
Warriors, Book 1, Into the Wild, by Aaron Hunt. In the beginning of this book, a house pet named Rusty has dreams taunting about the forest sights and sounds. He eventually goes beyond his fence into the woods. There, Rusty befriends a cat named Greypaw from ThunderClan and learns about 4 clans that live divided: ThunderClan, WindClan, RiverClan, and ShadowClan. Greypaw's leader, Blue Star, takes an interest in Rusty and offers him to join ThunderClan. Rusty accepts the invitation, but little does he know that clan life isn't easy. You should read this book to find out how Rusty earns his place in the clan and how he solves ThunderClan's deputy, Redtail's mysterious death. Rusty struggles with border fights, rival clans, and the suspicious warrior Tigerclaw. Will Rusty succeed or die trying?
A Wrinkle in Time by Madeline Langle. This book is about a girl named Meg. Meg's father is working for the government when one day he stopped writing to his family. Even though some people do, Meg does not believe he is dead. Meg now lives with only her mother, 3 brothers, and their dog, Fortinbras. Meg meets Calvin O'Keefe, who soon becomes a very good friend. After that, she met Mrs. Who and Mrs. Witch, who are friends of Mrs. Watson. You should read this book because of the completely unexpected turns. It starts out somewhat usual, but the end is anything but normal.
The title of this book is Dirt Bikes by Laura Propezel. People race dirt bikes. Dirt bikes are raced around a track. There are seasons for them. During summer, on the track, there are ramps, there are jumps, there are race to get points. Whoever has the highest wins. You should read this book so you are not afraid of heights. Bye-bye.
This book is about 3 Walker children and a mom and a dad. Their dad mysteriously lost his job due to the fact he carved an eye in a man's belly as a doctor. Now they have to move into a house in San Francisco. Eleanor, Cordelia, and Brendan are trying to figure out the secrets of the house. A creepy witch traps them in a book. How do they get out? You should read this book because you can find out what happens. Do they live to see another day, or will they be perished in the book forever?
Molly Moon's Incredible Book of Hypnotism by Georgia Bing. It's a very interesting and dramatic and suspenseful book. And there's a movie as well, so you won't run out. In my opinion, this is a very good book, and you should totally check it out. This book is very long, with 369 pages. This is a fantasy/science fiction because it involves time travel and other wacky things. Molly Moon was an orphan and named after a box that run moon factories, and that's how she got her name, Molly Moon. All the people hated her except for Rocky, her best friend, and Miss Trinkleberry. Don't forget Petulia. One day she ended up in the library. A guy was yelling at the librarian, and she went into her normal spot. When she saw it was in the back. And under the blanket she saw it. The ancient hypnotism. This is what helped her hypnotize Petulia. Read more with Molly and Petulia in Molly Moon in the Incredible Book of Hypnotism.
My book title is Ghost by Jason Reynolds. In this book, a boy named Castle Crenshaw is a 5th grader at New Hall Elementary. He wants to be in most fastest runner. He picks up a basketball game, track one day, and go to the Olympics and be the. After the basketball game, he gets off his bus, and then he comes to school. At third period, he sneaks out of school and goes to the cleat store and steals a pair of cleats. Will he make it out of there without getting caught? He goes to a Foot Locker and steals a pair of new shoes. Running and running, 3 seconds, 2 seconds. Will he make it?
Hi, this book is called Drama, illustrated by Banner Telemeter. This book is about 3 6th graders that are planning for a play. A girl named Callie that does a lot of things for a play. Callie loves theaters and loves to try out for the Middle School's protection of Moon, Mississippi. Callie can't really sing because it says she's a set designer for the drama's determined stage crew. Callie practices every day until the talent show comes up. You should read this book because this is a book, but everybody can read it.